She wasn't just a singer, she was a revolution. In the early 1980s, a bold young woman stormed into New York City with nothing but $35 in her pocket and an unshakable dream. Within a few years, she would become the most talked about and most controversial entertainer on the planet. Madonna Louise Ciccone, a name once whispered in scandal, is now etched in history as the undisputed Queen of Pop. But how did a Catholic schoolgirl from Michigan transform into a global icon who redefined music, fashion, and female power? How did she survive religious backlash, media wars, failed marriages, and public humiliation, only to rise higher, stronger, and louder each time? This is the untold story of Madonna, the woman who mastered scandal, conquered reinvention, and proved that pop culture would forever bend to her will. Madonna Louise Ciccone was born on August 16, 1958, in Bay City, Michigan, the third of 6 children in a tight-knit Italian Catholic family. Her father, Silvio Ciccone, worked as an engineer for Chrysler and General Motors, while her mother, also named Madonna, was a homemaker devoted to her faith and children. For a brief time, life seemed stable, filled with the warmth of family and tradition. But tragedy struck early. When Madonna was just 5 years old, her mother died of breast cancer. The loss devastated the family and left a deep wound that shaped Madonna's defiant spirit. Her father remarried the family's housekeeper, a move young Madonna resisted fiercely. She grew up under strict Catholic discipline, where guilt, rules, and rituals dominated daily life. Yet instead of submitting, she rebelled. Teachers described her as bright, curious, and exceptionally ambitious, though often disruptive. As a child, Madonna learned ballet and quickly showed natural talent. Her determination earned her a dance scholarship to the University of Michigan. But she was restless. Even in her suburban hometown, she dreamed of bigger stages, brighter lights, and a destiny beyond the narrow confines of religion and tradition. It was this hunger for escape that would soon drive her to New York City, and toward stardom. In 1978, at just 19, Madonna made the boldest decision of her life. She dropped out of college and boarded a one-way flight to New York City, with only $35 in her pocket. She later described the moment as, "the bravest thing I've ever done." New York at the time was gritty, dangerous, and unforgiving, but for Madonna, it was the perfect training ground. She worked odd jobs to survive, at Dunkin' Donuts, in restaurants, and cleaning apartments, while studying dance under choreographer Alvin Ailey. But her ambitions quickly expanded beyond the dance floor. She joined several bands, learning drums and guitar, and began experimenting with songwriting. Soon, she stood out in Manhattan's underground clubs, where her charisma and raw energy electrified the crowd. By 1982, her demo tape caught the attention of Seymour Stein at Sire Records. Her debut single, Everybody, became a club sensation, introducing her as a fresh face in the dance-pop world. But it was the release of her self-titled debut album in 1983, with hits like Holiday and Lucky Star, that placed Madonna firmly on the map. Then came the 1984 MTV Video Music Awards. Dressed in a wedding gown, writhing to like a virgin, Madonna shocked America and became a superstar overnight. By the mid-1980s, Madonna wasn't just another rising singer. She was a force of nature. Her second studio album, Like a Virgin, 1984, exploded onto the charts, selling more than 20 million copies worldwide. The title track, paired with her scandalous MTV performance in a wedding dress, cemented her reputation as the most provocative star of her generation. With Material Girl, she embraced, and mocked, the greed of the decade, cleverly turning herself into both a fashion icon and a social mirror. But music was only one arena. Madonna ventured into film with Desperately Seeking Susan, 1985, a quirky hit that made her a Hollywood name. She launched global tours that weren't just concerts, but theatrical productions blending dance, costume, and narrative. The Blonde Ambition Tour, 1990, was particularly groundbreaking, merging pop spectacle with taboo-breaking themes of sexuality and religion. Critics called it outrageous. Fans called it genius. In 1990, she reinvented dance culture with Vogue, borrowing from New York's underground ballroom scene. The song and its iconic video not only topped charts, but also spotlighted LGBTQ+ artistry at a time when it was often ignored. By the early 1990s, Madonna had become the highest-paid female entertainer in the world. She sold millions of albums, won countless awards, and generated hundreds of millions in concert revenue. Her influence reached far beyond music, into fashion, film, and politics. Madonna wasn't just making hits, she was reshaping culture. But success came with a target on her back. The bigger she became, the harsher the scrutiny. And soon, scandals would erupt that tested her empire like never before. For Madonna, controversy wasn't an accident. It was a strategy. But even she couldn't escape the firestorms that came with pushing boundaries. In 1989, she released Like a Prayer, a song paired with a music video that featured burning crosses, religious imagery, and an interracial romance with a saint-like figure. The Vatican condemned her, religious groups organized boycotts, and Pepsi canceled a lucrative $5 million endorsement deal. Yet instead of destroying her, the scandal only fueled sales, proving that outrage could be her greatest marketing tool. Her personal life also drew relentless scrutiny. Her tumultuous marriage to actor Sean Penn in the late 1980s was marked by violent fights, tabloid frenzy, and eventual divorce. Critics painted her as reckless and self-destructive. In the early 1990s, she pushed the boundaries even further with her erotic book Sex and the provocative album Erotica. Filled with explicit imagery and unapologetic sexuality, the projects ignited global backlash. Reviewers called it vulgar, some fans turned away, and the media declared her career finished. Film became another source of humiliation, while she earned critical praise and a Golden Globe for her performance in Evita, 1996. Most of her other films, like Shanghai Surprise and later Swept Away, were disasters. The press ridiculed her acting, branding her a pop star who should stay out of Hollywood. By the late 1990s, Madonna was labeled a fading star, a woman clinging to shock tactics in an industry moving on to fresher faces. For many, her reign seemed over, but those who underestimated her forgot one thing. Madonna's greatest scandal was always her ability to come back stronger than ever. Just when the world thought Madonna was finished, she staged one of the most remarkable comebacks in music history. In 1998, she released Ray of Light, a groundbreaking album infused with electronic sounds and spiritual themes. Critics hailed it as her most mature work, earning her 4 Grammy Awards and restoring her credibility as not just a provocateur, but an artist of depth and vision. Songs like Frozen and Ray of Light revealed a softer, more introspective Madonna, one who could shock without scandal. Motherhood also reshaped her image. With the birth of her daughter Lourdes and later adoption of children from Malawi, Madonna embraced roles of nurturer and philanthropist. She became involved in humanitarian causes, particularly in Africa, surprising many who had once dismissed her as shallow. Yet her artistic hunger never waned. In the 2000s, albums like Music and Confessions on a Dance Floor brought her back to the top of the charts. The single Hung Up dominated global radio, while her tours shattered records, proving she could still command stadiums with unrivaled energy. Through yoga, Kabbalah, and a relentless work ethic, Madonna reinvented not only her career, but also the very definition of longevity in pop. Reinvention wasn't just her survival tactic, it became her legacy. Today, Madonna stands as the best-selling female recording artist in history, with more than 300 million records sold. But her true impact cannot be measured by numbers alone. She shattered taboos around religion, sex, and gender. She redefined what it means for a woman to control her image, her body, and her career in an industry dominated by men. Her influence echoes through every generation that followed. Britney Spears, Lady Gaga, Beyoncé, and countless others who built their artistry on the path she carved. Even now in her 60s, Madonna continues to perform, proving that age is no barrier to relevance when reinvention is a way of life. Her story is not just one of fame and scandal, but of resilience and audacity. Madonna's journey proves that to survive in pop culture is to evolve endlessly, and to never apologize for who you are. This was Stars and Scandals. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more untold tales behind the fame.